Okay, we're going to start with Bronwyn Goss's question. Bronwyn asks, we're a consultancy and many of our team are pretty isolated from each other and the other business teams. We have started to implement engagement initiatives, but any additional insights would be wonderful.
Sure. Have you got a bit more background about Bronwyn? Like, what sort of industry is she in?
I believe I did a bit of LinkedIn stalking, Bronwyn. I believe you're in a health-related industry.
Okay, we'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest thing. So what you're describing, Bronwyn, is really common, like very common. So what we've found is since COVID, a lot of people are working from home, a lot of people are, remote access. So what we need to think about is how can we get people to emotionally connect just as much as physically connect as if they were in the workplace, yeah? So there's a couple of things that I'm finding that's out there in the industry that's happening, really simple things. So I'm going to go from simplicity through to complexity. So I want to start with Sudoku. Okay, I want to start with Sudoku. So there's an organization that I'm working with, and every 3 weeks what they do is they connect on Zoom remotely around Australia. And what they purposely do is not discuss work. And what they do is they get out Sudoku and actually play Sudoku together for half an hour. And the reason why they're doing that is just build team morale and connection and have a bit of fun. So that's really simplistically. Building onto a little bit of complexity, there's a concept that's called Management 3.0. It's connected with agile organizations. It's one of the things that I'm actually licensed in. And Jürgen Appello identified that when teams are working remotely, what they also need to do is to have that ability to connect, because with connection comes trust. So what they've done is they've taken the concept of mind maps and essentially called it personal maps. And once a month, teams would get together and actually just map out things that they'd like to share with each other in a digital environment. So you might have 10 or 20 people as part of your team. And then with that personal map, maybe looking at hobbies or interests or travels or things that I know about me but you don't know about me that I'm willing to share, then people are put into breakout rooms in pairs, and we just basically share our insights of things that maybe I know about you and maybe you don't know about me. But when we come back into the main room, then I would then introduce the other person's personal map. The secret around this is not to get people to introduce themselves by what was on the personal map, but to get other people to introduce the other person about what they found with that. So that actually starts to build interest and curiosity, and with that, that builds bonding as well.
It's a bit like an icebreaker for a training program.
It's really similar, yeah. Actually, it's really effective. So really simple things like that you can integrate, maybe once a month, just to help connect socially with people in the team. Now, to build on complexity, there's an organisation that I was working with. They conducted a town hall meeting, and essentially they do this every quarter. And what they wanted to do was to identify what were the lessons learnt over the last 6 months since COVID. And what they got me to facilitate was a 3-hour event that was called What's Hot and What's Happening. And essentially what I did through the Zoom environment was we had these 50 people, we had an opening address by the department manager, just talking about some engagement stuff, because I just got their Gallup engagement results. And then from there, we then provided insights to maybe some of the challenges that was happening with COVID. And then I put people into small breakout groups for them to identify what were their challenges since working in COVID and working from home, what were their successes of working from home since COVID, all in breakout groups, coming back and sharing that with the larger audience. And then I put them into smaller groups again, back out into breakout rooms to say, look, what are some ideas and opinions that we can actually take from this moving forward so it becomes standard workplace procedures. And so with that, they had a list of about a dozen things we then prioritized, and then those top 3 to 5 items then went back to the senior executive team for implementation. Now, the value out of doing this was this organization was sophisticated enough to know that COVID is really a litmus test to what is predicted to happen in 2030, because they had also read the reports from Deloitte's, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, KPMG, who all identify the same thing. And what they said was, right, let's actually use this as an opportunity for learning so that we can then look at what's going to happen in the future in 10 years' time, but let's make this commonplace. So they're seeing COVID as a really unique learning opportunity, and they wanted to be in control of it, not it in control of them. And I think that's a mature team mindset, but also to us a mature emotional intelligence viewpoint, because it got people engaged and actually reduced stress in the team whilst people were having to work from home and educate kids and not have internet connection and couldn't down, all these types of things. So it was a good chance for them to share. So that's so I hope Bronwyn, that's answered some of your questions in regards to that.
I want to add something.
Sure.
Early on when COVID very first happened, we held a Zoom meeting for workplace leaders from all around the globe, and we had how many people did we have? Probably 30 or so across like several calls. So we had like a Northern Hemisphere call where we had workplace leaders join in, Southern Hemisphere, and a bunch joined in. But anyway, one person mentioned on the call that what they would do on their Friday nights is still have Friday night drinks. And at 4 o'clock every Friday, everyone would get together on Zoom with their drink in hand, and they would just, as they normally would on a Friday at work, would do their Friday night drinks. And that made a big difference in terms of engagement and keeping the camaraderie among people.
Yeah.
So,
and there was that other guy as well who, incidentally, he got offered the job on the Thursday. COVID came in, he got shut down. He went in on the Friday. He got given his laptop, and then on the Monday for about 4 to 6 weeks, he had to get to know his team over this digital world. Yeah. So he used
never met.
No, yeah. That's right. But he used that opportunity for, it's like, bring along your favourite mug, wear your favourite football scarf or your jumper or things like that. So he actually ran with themes, and that just got people engaged. Some people have sundowners. I know in Arabic countries they might have mocktail hours, those types of things. So it's just simple things that can get people engaged.